Oh, what the hell are you talking about?
Step it out. Step it out. Look good. Look good. Look sharp. Look sharp.
So in a very real sense then, leadership is going to be exercised by every one of you.
Okay, you know what you did wrong?
Number one. Here we go. Here we go.
If he continues to resist, you pull him back and then keep him out of the way of traffic. Okay, Cadet Senior, you take over as the trooper.
On October the 6th, 1975, Indiana State Police Superintendent Robert L. DeBard announced initial plans for an intensive recruitment campaign with the primary objective being to produce qualified men and women for careers with the Indiana State Police Department, with an emphasis on minority recruitment. On February the 2nd, 1976, 50 cadets were inducted into the Law Enforcement Training Academy in Plainfield, Indiana as a result of this effort. Included in this class were 20 blacks, 4 Mexican Americans, and the first 4 women in history to receive training as state police officers, each individual interested in the training for a challenging, rewarding career in law enforcement.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This, then, was the first step.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, if you have the desire inside you, no matter what they do or how hard they drive you, I believe that any individual with a desire is capable and of going through this training. Now, we have had in the past, I have heard that cadets have dropped out. Now, here where desire plays an important factor, the person that dropped out must not have too much desire in the first place.
State police. Number 1. Let's try. 1, 6, 1, 7. 1, 2, 3, 2. Push it along. Push it along. Policías. Policías. 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. There's 1. Vamos, vamos. Vamos, vamos.
Every morning you get up, you have inspection, and they check the shoes, you check your breast, you check your clothes for lint, and they check to see if, just all the small details, to check to see if you're, in shape or everything's looking good on you. And I'd never been in the Army before, and this was kind of different for me.
For those of us that were in the service, the discipline here at the Academy is a different type of discipline. In the service, it was more of a forced discipline. You always had someone telling you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Here at the Academy, it's more of a self-discipline. Here you learn for yourself when to do things, how to do things. It's more of a self-learning process that we'll have to learn and carry on with us once we do get out into the field.
I've never been away from home, or I never participated in any active groups, or I never been to college, or I never been in the military. And I feel that this experience is more or less making a man out of me, and I'm learning how to be on time, how to depend on myself for things and not depend on my parents.
Well, in the military, they tell you to do something, and you just did it. You didn't really give a, why or how to. Well, here they tell you to do something, and they don't tell you right now, but it's an implied thing that you really know that it's a particular reason for doing it. Like when we first came in, you had to make your bed a certain way. You had to stand inspections every day. Your room had to be a certain way. Well, it's the same thing when you get out on the road. You won't have anybody looking over your shoulder to tell you what to do, and situations happen fast, and you got to be ready to respond to these different situations. You got to give an accurate account of what you're doing, because you have the power of life and death, and you might come into a situation where you have to make a snap judgment whether to take a guy's life or just lock him up.
In the service, I went because they sent me that letter and said, hey, you got to go. But here I came on my own. For instance, my first day of PT, I was very competitive, and I made one mistake that I was, right then I was stopped and I was told about it. Hey, and I couldn't make that mistake, but in the service I could make that mistake over and over again, and they would let it slide. But here, if you make one mistake, you stop right there. And that mistake should not happen again and will not happen again.
Instructors here are concerned that you get the material, absorb it, and are able to use it. And you go to college a lot of times, instructors come in, throw the stuff out, you take it or leave it, and they don't care. You might not even see them again. But here,
people are involved and they expect you to get yourself involved and learn it and apply it.
I think this is a preliminary to what we're going to be finding out on the road when we're out in the field, that situations will come up and we need to adjust very quickly. And it'll be, as you said, a few seconds perhaps. But this is where the importance is. This is what we're learning here, is the ability to adjust, to be able to grasp that adjustment and to be able to handle it effectively.
I feel here at the Academy, it's not only being a part of it, but it's what you desire here. A lot of it is how bad do you want it, because you can quit any day. You can walk out that front door and you get a different kind of atmosphere, whereas in the service, you were there, and it didn't make any difference. What you did, you're going to be there. But here, the instructors are trying to make you decide how bad you want it.
You got to feel that the professors and the instructors are genuinely interested in us as a group and individually. The information that they give us, they know that we'll be using this information, and we get that feeling in the classroom that they know that they're helping us. Our instructors here may someday be the trooper that we're working next to, and I feel that he is teaching me personally because he wants to know that I can do the job he can do.
In this case, we have a...
Here at the Academy, we're not learning about geography, Latin, or world history. We're learning things that will be used on the street, like fingerprinting. Each officer needs to know how to lift that print so that that print can be used in court.
In a breathalyzer...
Being a state police officer, we're told that we'll investigate many accidents. 50% of the accidents are caused by drunk drivers. It's easy to use the breathalyzer, but in order to get a drunk driver convicted, we have to know the theory behind the breathalyzer and how it works.
There is a certain amount of alcohol in the water sample. The air above it will contain a definite ratio of the two.
Robbery is still a felonious taking, but it does not involve...
The law class is by far one of the most important classes we're given in school. Everything we do involves law, from the simplest traffic violation to arresting a criminal. The knowledge we get here in the classroom will enable us to make better arrests and have the evidence necessary to get convictions in the courtroom.
Now you have evidence to show his intent, his purpose.
I, as a police officer, will have to handle a situation, write down what happened, so that someone not being there can read what I wrote and know what I did at the scene.
Connotative versus denotative language. And finally, the errors...
We're taught basic grammar and composition, up to and including studying police reports. The investigation could be good, but without a good written report, your case could be in jeopardy.
Every one of you as a state trooper.
In police work, sometimes we deal with people that are psychologically not normal, and with an education of psychology, we're able to deal with those people. Psychology is interesting because we not only study how other people react to situations, but why we react to certain situations, and how we can control ourselves so that we don't overreact to a situation and get ourselves hurt.
Because again, the time itself, the situation, will evoke from you some qualities that probably you didn't know that you had.
Confidence in yourself is a necessary tool for pursuit driving. This confidence is not something learned in school, but by going out and making mistakes, this confidence is acquired through yourself. Confidence is more or less an extension of yourself, knowing that you and the car are reacting as one.
Come around here, back through, then you come back, and when you shoot right out, when you come around this way and out, it brings you right into that gate, see? You can't get through there. You can't even get through there, see, because this corner juts out too far.
Okay, so if you follow the road, it'll hook you right on into it.
Right.
Then.
You'll have to, you have to come down. You have to really come into some good braking in here and gear down.
Knocking over one pylon bothers me. In our imaginations, the pylons could be a piece of metal. They could blow our tires, a small child, a pedestrian in a crosswalk. We can set the pylons back up here at school. But on the street, we can't set the people back
Go,
up.
get out of the grass. Go, Myers. Back on the track. Go. Come on, Myers. Wait a second. Get it on. We got 4 minutes coming.
While I'm driving this course, it's a good feeling to know that the rest of the class is rooting for you even though we're all competing against the same clock. I was never a hot rodder, and high speed scared me. But with the instructions here, I found that I could go through the course just as fast as the next guy.
Hey, Tom, get it! Get it! Let's go! Hey! All right. Keep your 3.5. You hurry up. Right on it!
I got about 3:27.
3:27. Good time.
Best time yet, guys.
This subject is under arrest. He's got a seatbelt on. Now always undo a seatbelt.
Here's where all that physical training should pay off. But with the techniques he's teaching, it's not physical at all. It's simple.
Stay out to his rear. Get his thumb. Twist his arm. Pull him out this way. And start twisting. Always undo his safety belt. Come on, sir. Put out on the ground. Okay, give me your other hand. Okay, that was pretty good. Now, let me show you just a couple of small things that you did know. Now watch. Okay, Cadet Sonia, you get back in the car. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Okay.
It appears that if a person didn't want to come out of a car, all that person would have to do would be hang on tight to the steering wheel.
Now, before you grab his thumbs, undo his safety belt.
What happens if he tries to fight you after that?
Well, then he lets go, and you can still wrestle him for a seatbelt. Okay. And grab his thumb. You can always find a thumb in there someplace, and he's resisting, he's drunk. Okay, I've got his thumb. Jerk it, his hand back toward the back of the car. Roll it towards the front of the car. Get him out in this way. Okay, still not letting go. Foot up there. Get them together. Get them together. Yes, sir. Reach back, get his other hand. Now, cuff him. If he wants to resist, and he springs back, then you have him. You've already got him cuffed. Now watch out and don't hurt him. Try not to hurt him and keep him out of traffic. But going for the thumbs is the weakest part of the hand. You can pull him out.
A gun is not given to a police officer for enforcement. It's given to the police officer as a means of self-defense. The thought of taking a life is not a pleasant thought, but with this training, I know that I can defend myself without endangering the lives of others.
Okay, group number 3, when you get 36 rounds in your pocket, move up to the 7-yard line.
7?
7. Ready on the firing line.
A firearm is a necessary tool for police work. On the street, I'll only have a split second to make a decision. I won't have to be thinking about sight alignment, sight picture, breath control, trigger squeeze. It'll all be whether or not to shoot. A police officer has an obligation to protect the public, the people he's sworn to protect. When there's a life or death situation and he makes a decision to use that gun, he doesn't want to endanger innocent bystanders. He wants to be able to draw the weapon and know that he's going to hit what he's firing at.
Reach for your 6 rounds, grab at least 6.
Okay.
When you have to go back into your pocket, you're losing time.
Now, you're supposed to ascertain what happened from him, make an investigation. And while you're in there, I come up with the suspect. And I just tell you, I caught this guy running away from the scene. He was in a stolen car. He has a bag he threw over in a clump of bushes. And he may or may not be connected with this crime. But I just give you what I have, and I turn him over to you, and I go back out to check the stolen car.
Don't touch that, sir. Sir, let's just leave that right there.
I stopped and found out the car was stolen. Now I'm going to charge him with possession of a stolen automobile. I don't know what's in his bag here, but he's only a block and a half away from here, and what I'm going to do is turn him over to you guys. I'm going out and inventory the car.
The crime scene instruction at school couldn't be more real. We've got instructors as victims, we've got instructors as the mock policeman, and we've got an experienced trooper as the criminal. And who would know better how a criminal would react than a trooper? We're told that a good police officer has to have some criminal element in himself to know how the criminal thinks, where he would hide a gun, what to look for as evidence.
Don't break my back, man.
The knowledge these troopers have of the criminal element can't be taught by books, but can be learned only by actual experiences.
Would the other officer give you your rights yet?
Yeah, I know my rights.
One of the most important things you're going to do is search a prisoner. The way they hide weapons in their clothing may be a personal experience of that trooper, or it could be an actual case history where a trooper was killed. And the mistake someone else makes is a well-learned lesson. So when a trooper hides a gun in an obscure place in his clothing, it's not to be funny. It more than likely happened to that trooper.
Pay attention. You understand that? Yeah. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. Okay. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask any questions and have him with you during questioning. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want my lawyer.
This guy says he wants a lawyer. What do you think we ought to do?
Well, sir, should we read him his rights? Should we read him his rights?
You're dead. That's right. He's supposed to be handcuffed.
People you're dealing with will hurt you, and they'll do it with no reservations whatsoever. These people deal and travel in a fast world, and if you don't show initiative, you won't be here. And that's the points we're trying to bring out here is that you first of all have to defend yourself. You have to defend the people that work with you. That you have to look out for them, and in turn, they will look out for you.
Now, we're not saying go to a violator's car with your gun out, by any means. But you will develop a sixth sense as a police officer, I'm sure, if you're a good police officer. Many occasions, you have that, what we call gut feeling, that something's not right.
You've got to use a lot of common sense in police work. This is a thing that they've talked to you about since the day you got here. They'll talk to you about it until the day you leave, and you've got to exert the common sense day in and day out.
Just hang in there, try to control your emotions. You're going to make mistakes. We've all covered that umpteen times. You've heard that up here, I imagine, 100 times since this academy started. But you are going to make mistakes. But just don't keep making the same mistakes over and over. If you do, you're not learning anything. See you in hit.
Most of the time in the evening is spent in our room, preparing for next day's lessons.
What do you think the last one, Terry, be Ohio?
Oh, probably concerning the
shining shoes, polishing your brass, preparing for inspection, or just discussing the things that happened that day.
One of the cadets today brought out the point, trying to pass off the responsibility to the officer that brought the suspect in. He said, we shouldn't have even taken him. He's already got him under arrest. We should have said, no, you arrested him, you take him in. And I thought, well, we're supposed to be the best, and we can't just push something off on another department, because this guy didn't even search him. Had we said, you go ahead and take him, that officer would have ended up dead for sure, because we ended up finding 2 guns on this guy.
something rough to have under control.
Yeah, you know, you're kind of hard to live with. Here you pass the buck to this other guy, and he ends up being shot. It would be kind of hard to live with. So you take it, you take it and you do your best.
I never thought I would find myself studying because I wanted to study. But now I find myself studying something that is really interesting to me. It's not a matter of self-discipline to study to get a good grade, but you're studying because you know that this is the way you're going to live for the rest of your life. You've chosen this as a career.
I have learned a lot, I have gone through a lot, and it has done a lot of good for me.
In many instances, there won't be people around to tell you exactly how to do things. This is when the self-discipline is going to have to come into play, and you're going to have to take it on your own.
The point of self-discipline is teaching to the point of being independent, because when we will be out on the road, like I said, we'll be out 60, 70 miles from the post or from nearest police station, and a lot of things will have, will depend on what we learned here and how we discipline ourselves here, they go on to how we carry ourselves out there too. And I figure, this all plays a part.
You learn responsibility, and you're able to do something without really thinking about it and know within yourself that it's the right answer.
I think that state police operating procedures
demands that type of discipline, and just doing our routine work, our routine patrol, our routine stops, and so on. That's expected and demanded.
Talking about fair, if you cannot take the fairness that's been given to you here, surely you're not going to be able to take it out there in the streets, out there in the road, with the people, the way they're going to treat you.
As far as dropping out, I think you get to the point where, like you said, you reach the point of diminishing returns, where you don't feel as if the effort that you're putting forth is worth what you will get in return. And that's the satisfaction of being one of the finest, the best in Indiana, and that's the Indiana State Trooper.
The Academy is helping you to develop your strengths and your weaknesses, and so that you know what those are and how you cope with them.
And it kind of, you know, brings out a discipline in the person for him to be alert all the time and be on his, you know, P's and Q's. But I think it's a very unique, rewarding experience, and I like it.
You know, your self-discipline, that's the basic thing they're teaching you here, is self-discipline. And I think there's a lot of things we could get away with that we really don't, because we know we're only hurting ourselves in the long run.
I feel like I've really accomplished something. I feel a self-confidence I've never felt before. I feel a self-discipline I've never experienced before. And if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't give it a second thought. I would do it.
And you have come to today's commencement.
Graduation will go down as the most exciting day in my life. As I sit here, I know that I've completed one of the most rigorous and demanding training courses of any police agency in the state.
As I look at this splendid class, it is hard for me to believe that just 15 short weeks ago you walked into this academy as unlikely a group of prospective state police candidates as I have ever seen. With your long hair, some beards, some sideburns, beads in your bracelets. There wasn't a business suit worn at the academy. No one even had a sport coat on, and there wasn't even a necktie among you. We even had 4 women who had the audacity to believe that they could qualify for the august position of a state police officer. And we knew that within 2 or at the most 3 weeks, you would be forced to throw up your hands in frustration and quit, because there was no way that you could meet the requirements, the physical requirements and the rigors of this academy. Yet, 15 weeks later, you're still here. You've qualified, you've met the requirements, you've met the challenge, and you will be awarded the position you were seeking.
Congratulations, John.
You have amazed me with the efforts that you have put forth, and I'm so very proud of each and every one of you. I have never seen the genuine effort that has been demonstrated by you as a class in this academy. There has been no friction, as we thought there might be, between blacks and whites, or men and women. I honestly believe that from the education I've received from you people while here, that all the prejudices and the hate between the races will die with my generation, because your generation can handle it.
We were sitting there arguing about that, then he jumped up and called it.
Close enough. Later.
Come here, man. Hang in there, Larry. Did a policy. Oh, yeah. All you can do, come on down.
Take it in.
Put it through.